Congress has decided to launch an investigation into Planned Parenthood after an anti-abortion organization put out a heavily edited video of an interaction that they had with an executive at Planned Parenthood. And they're claiming, the anti-abortion organization is claiming, that Planned Parenthood is profiting by selling the organs of fetuses, which it clearly is not. Okay. Now, Congress doesn't care about this. The Republicans in Congress don't care about the facts or the whole notion that this video was edited. And so they're like, no, you know what? We don't like Planned Parenthood. We don't like this organization at all. So we're going to launch an investigation, and hopefully in the future we can defund them further. So John Boehner said the following: when an organization monetizes an unborn child, which they don't, and with the cavalier attitude portrayed in this horrific video, we must all act. As a start, I have asked our relevant committees to look into this matter. I am also calling on President Obama and Health and Human Services Secretary Sylvia Burwell to denounce and stop these gruesome practices.
It's incredible how much they lie. Like, you know that she said for shipping, if you want to get the cells in the fetuses so you can do scientific research and save people's lives, the shipping generally costs $30 to $100. She doesn't get the money. She's not profiting off of it. They asked her a general question: if you were to go to these centers and you were doing scientific research, which people do all the time, you know, is there money involved? She says the only money involved, because we don't take profit, right? You can't make money off of it. We don't want to make money off it. The only money involved is shipping, which is $30 to $100 per specimen. And Boehner, who is the Speaker of the House, knows that and comes out and says, you see, they're profiting off of it. It is a gruesome thing that they're doing, and it needs to be stopped. Because that's what they live in a world of lies. This is all to some degree loosely coordinated. It's not like John Boehner told them to go make that video, but there's think tanks that fund these groups that then go and do hatchet jobs like this. They're the same guys who give donations to the Republicans. So it's not like the guys making the videos work for John Boehner. It's that John Boehner and the guy making the video both work for the same guy.
Yes, that's very true. You're right. It's not like this orchestrated effort, but these are all entities that despise Planned Parenthood, right? You have the right wing that thinks that Planned Parenthood is just an abortion factory. But the reality is Planned Parenthood is so incredibly important for so many different people. Not only do they do breast cancer screenings, they do STD screenings. They provide birth control and other medical services to people who just simply can't afford it at a conventional hospital. Abortions is just a tiny, tiny percentage of what they do. I think actually 3% of what they do revolves around abortions. But it doesn't matter. Just the fact that that tiny, tiny percentage has to do with abortion leads right-wingers to want to completely defund it, which has a huge negative impact on the health care of not just women, but also men in the U.S. It's disgusting. It's despicable. And the fact that these politicians know what the truth is, but they choose to put out those lies to completely defund an organization like Planned Parenthood is disgusting.
Well, and that was the whole point. The whole point of doing these edited videos is to get people riled up so that a guy like Boehner can come out and go, oh, that's it, we have to defund. We have to defund everything. We have to question the funding. And they already cut funding for breast cancer research gratuitously yesterday because they claimed that it's connected to Planned Parenthood. And so now they're going after Planned Parenthood, and they say, oh, yeah, great. And yes, it does have something to do with abortion. Of course it does, and of course they hate it. I know that. It is, but it's not just about abortion. They provide a lot of services for women, including contraception and all. Oh, they get to control their own fate.
They get to have sex with no consequences? We're not about that. We want to make sure women are punished every time they have sex.
It gets under their skin, man.
Yeah.
So, because once women have access to contraception and can control their own fate, well, then they're not solely reliant on men anymore. And it's part of the same entitlement that you see over and over again. The guy who was at the Confederate flag rally when driving through a town that's predominantly black, they're mad at him and yell things at him. He's like, he was deeply offended by that, right? He's like, I don't get it. I've always had the right to oppress you. Now you're upset that you're trying to take that right away from me? And so the Boehners of the world and the guys who did this hatchet job, they're like, we got to control women for almost the whole existence of this country. Now you're going to take that right away from us? And the way you do it is through contraception and all these different ways that liberates them. Oh,
they hate it.
They hate it. They feel like you're taking entitlement away from them. That's what this whole thing's about.
It's so sad. And unfortunately, I feel like the right wing is going to be successful because they've already launched this investigation. They've already cut funding for breast cancer research and screenings. I don't know how far it's going to go. It's really sad.
Unfortunately, the Democrats do not have a good history of standing up to Republican demagoguery like this.